My name is Josh. Welcome to Late Start Piano. Today I'm going to be explaining to you how a brand new piano player, even if this is your first day or your second day on piano, you can already start to improvise and create your own beautiful melodies and harmonies, even again if you're brand new to the piano. So a lot of times, especially if you're starting later in life, like I did, I started learning at 25. If you're at that age or above, you might not want to be playing the classics. You might not like classical music. You don't want to play, Fur Elise, and you don't want to play Moonlight Sonata, things like this. But maybe you want to just improvise and create your own music, right? And that's completely fine. This video is going to help you again, even if this is your first day on the piano. What I'm going to share with you is going to be a lot of information, but you can always break it down, take it one step at a time, and apply it as you deem necessary. So let's just get right into it from here. First thing you need to know is the name of the keys. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we're back to C. Don't even worry about the black keys right now. We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. So we just have those 7 unique notes, right? Those 7 notes right there. And what we can do with that is make beautiful music, even though we're just using those 7 notes, only the white notes. And the way we're going to do this is we're first going to talk about chords. So now that we know what notes we're using, all the white notes, if we start on C, C will be kind of our home base. Again, this one is C. We can make a chord out of it. And how do we make chords? Is we just skip a note. So you play a note, skip a note, which is in this case the D, play a note, skip a note, play a note. So that's your C major chord. We can also use a F major chord. So start on your F note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. That's your F major. We also have a G major chord. Same thing, play a note, skip a note. Then we can also throw in some minor chords, which we can start on with the A, C, E, and D. So really, when you're playing, just keep in mind if you want a majory sound, this kind of sound, versus this kind of sound, you can hear one's a little bit brighter, one's a little bit more melancholy. If you want to play a sadder song or sadder emotion, if you want to bring out a sadder emotion you're playing, you can just play this minor chord. You can play this minor chord, or you can play this minor chord. If you want to play major chords, you can play C major, F major, or G major. Now, once we have those chords down the left hand, what we can do already is start opening that up, okay? So instead of playing C, E, and G like this, we can do C, G, and C. We can also do F, C, F. Instead of playing F major like this, we can do F, C, F. We can also do G like this, and we can do A minor like this. Okay, so basically whatever note you're doing, you play that note, you skip 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, you play the 4th note, and then you just repeat this note up at the top. Same thing for all these chords. 1, 2, 3, play the 4th note, and then you just repeat on the bottom. And already, if this is your first day, this might take you a little while to kind of get the hang of. Right? But you want to play around with that. Second thing you want to do is the pedal. So I have a sustain pedal. If you're on an actual grand piano, if you have 3 pedals, it's the pedal all the way to the right. And if you hold it down, the notes will still play even if you're not holding down the notes on the keys. So this is me holding down the pedal. This is me if I take my foot off of the pedal. You see, as soon as I stop playing the notes, the noise stops. The actual vibration of the sound waves stop. And that's because my foot is off of the pedal. If I want to have those notes sustained out, hence the name sustain pedal, you just hold it down. And this is useful when we're switching chords. Let's go back to this example. Say we're playing C in the left hand, and then you want to play it in F. Well, if you don't use any pedal, it might sound like this. maybe you don't want that choppy sound. Maybe you want something a little bit more smooth. So what you can do is play the chord, put your foot down on the pedal, now it's sustaining, and then change chords. Now you hear that there's no break, there's no gap in between the notes. Right? That's with the pedal, without the pedal. So a couple tricks to think about when you are using that sustain pedal is you don't want to hold it down the whole time without lifting up on the pedal, because you're going to get this blur. Right? You can hear those notes are kind of mushing together. It's all kind of becoming one pitch at that point. So when you're changing chords, another word for that is if their bottom note, instead of playing C, you're going to be playing F. So whatever the lowest note is, if that's changing, you want to lift up. So right now my foot's down on the pedal, foot is still down. As I press down on the new notes, my fingers go down as my foot goes up, and then it goes right back down on the pedal. So right now my foot's down on the pedal. As my fingers go down the keys, my foot comes up, and then my foot goes right back down so that there's no blurring. Right, so again, you should be able to hear that difference when I use the sustain pedal properly versus when I don't use it properly, and you can hear either the pitch stop completely or you get this kind of muddied sound. So we don't want either one of those. We want clean pedal changes so that the chords we're playing and the melody notes that we're playing all come out sounding much better than what we normally would. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just to give you an easy progression. We can do a 1, 5, 6, 4. Don't really need to know what that means, but we're going to be playing C major. Then we can play the G chord, then that A minor, and then the F major. Back to C. So C major, G major, A minor, F major, back to C. Those were just the triad positions, but we're going to play it like this. So 1, 5, 6, 4, 1. So just do this a couple times, kind of get that feeling. Then once you have that, you can start improvising in the right hand. So for the right hand, all you need to do really is you can pick any one of these notes that you're playing. So if you're playing a C chord, you're playing the notes C, G, and C in this case. So you can play C or G in the right hand. Then when you go to F, you play F, C, and F. Same thing, you can just play a C note or an F note. Right, G, same thing, A, same thing. So when you're first starting, you can just literally play one note at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you're still improvising because you have two notes that you can play. So that's why I like this example, because it starts off very simple and then we build off of that. So you can play two notes. So these are the chords you're playing in this order. And then again, the right hand, you're just going to play either of the two notes that belong to that chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Once we get that down, now we can kind of open things up a little bit. So we can also do what's called a pentatonic scale, which, again, you don't really need to get too bogged down in the theory, but for your right hand, you can play the notes C, D, E, G, or A. Any of these notes right here. And you can even tell as I'm holding these down, even though I'm playing all notes at the exact same time, it doesn't sound awful. It doesn't sound like this, right? Or like this. We don't get those kind of sounds. It still sounds really good, even if we're playing them all together. So you really can't go wrong using these notes. So if you want to expand it a little bit, you can do the same thing with the chords, right, in the left hand. But now we can open up a little bit more notes in the right hand. So again, we can start off just playing one note at a time, but picking any one of those notes. So let's try that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Once you get that, maybe you can do 2 notes per chord. So we can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So now again, we're already starting to improvise with these chords. We're using that pentatonic scale. Again, you don't really need to understand the theory behind it. As long as you know which notes to play, when to play them, then you're improvising, right? And that's what we're trying to do again, even if this is your first day. So this is cool, right? Doing this kind of thing is fine. That's cool. Still sounds kind of simple though. So what else can we do to spice this up? We can do a couple things. We can do adding in a ninth to these chords. And really this is going to make the biggest difference, and it's going to make you sound almost like a pro immediately. This is where the fun part kind of comes in. So if you've been watching for this long, then this is the part that's really going to help you out. Because what we're going to do now is change up the chords a little bit. So if we're playing a C chord, we're going to add in the ninth. And all that means really is if we're playing a C chord, we just play the next note up. The next white note, I should say. So instead of C, G, C, we're going to do C, G, D. And already you can kind of hear how that sounds. This D note really adds a lot of texture and a lot of color instead of just duplicating the C. And of course, we're going to do the same thing with the other chords. So the next we had was the G chord. Instead of playing it like this, we're just going to take this note up one more white note. And you can kind of hear, sounds a little bit more interesting, adds a lot more color. Same thing with the A minor. This is what we were playing. Now we're going to play this. And of course, the F, same thing. Just going up one note. So now just doing that, even if we only play one note in these, in the right hand, you're going to see how that sounds. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And already that sounds pretty good. It sounds like your chords have a little bit more color, a little bit more complexity, a little bit more texture overall. And it's still very simple, right? We're just playing 3 notes in the left hand. And we can even just play 1 note in the right hand if that coordination is a little bit too much. Then, of course, you can build on that. You can start playing the 2 notes in the right hand like we talked about before. So we could do something like... something like that, right? Or maybe we want to do a little bit more in the right hand even. So we could do like... And once you get that, now you're just improvising. You notice I kind of was adding in a little bit of things. I was kind of changing positions around. Now you can kind of just actually improvise and get the flowing going. Remember to keep those same chords going. You can also use a metronome as well. So we can do, if we're having a little bit of difficulty keeping the rhythm, keeping the pace, we can start off slow. Say like 80 beats per minute and use that for our timer. Right, something like that. So you can throw in that metronome as well and just start experimenting in the right hand. Start playing these notes that we gave you before even if you just want to use the right hand alone to start. Right, whatever you want to do. Then of course you can add in maybe a little bit of rhythm in the left hand. Something like this. Something very basic. And make up your own things as you go. But that's just kind of basic improvising. Again, even if this is your first day, you can just start off with that first position we looked at, just these chords, doing one note at a time. And then once you get that, then you can open up that left hand. I would try to open up the left hand as soon as you can, because these kind of bigger voicings in the left hand give so much color and texture to your playing. You kind of want to get away from this triad sound as soon as you can, because that sounds beginner. If that's what you can play, that's fine. But again, you want to be growing and continuing to get better as you progress, and that's why you want to get to this point as soon as possible. And then again, it's to start improvising. I could do this pretty much all day. And once you start doing this, you can just kind of do your own thing and have fun. You can naturally and organically start adding in other little bits, but you want to start off with having a certain structure in place, somewhere, a starting point. You want to have a starting point that you can build off of, and that's exactly what I just gave you in this lesson today. And again, you can start adding stuff. You can start kind of adding in your own rhythm, maybe changing up the left hand a little bit, adding in different chords, maybe changing one note. So maybe you want to start playing a B flat in there as well, in addition to those white notes. I mean, the possibilities are really endless, so it's completely up to you. But I hope this video helps. Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. I do also offer lessons via Zoom, similar format to this. So if you're interested in that, you can drop a comment down below. I have a free PDF. It has 34 essential tips for the adult beginner who's just learning to play piano. If that sounds like you, link is down below. Again, it's completely free. And again, my name is Josh with Late Start Piano, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.